Hey everyone, Rees here, and welcome to the very first episode of Cooking with Rees. And in this episode, I'm going to be cooking a fantastic breakfast, which is very high in protein, very low in carbohydrates, full of vegetables and healthy stuff. You can make it with whatever you have in the fridge, much like an omelette, very similar ingredients. We call them Eggyweggs. I don't know why we call them Eggyweggs, but that's what we call them, and I own Eggyweggs.com, so don't question me. And the very first step to making them is to have a look in the fridge for some ingredients. So let's go and see what we've got. So these are the ingredients that I've managed to find in the fridge. We've got some mushrooms, a red pepper, tomatoes, obviously they weren't in the fridge, and some fancy sausages, which I think are probably from the local farm shop. I also have the big boy knife, because it makes me feel like a big boy when I chop things with the big boy knife. And also, of course, the other thing that you're going to need is eggs, and lots of eggs. So we have a big tray here. These are the eggs, which we bought from the local egg farm about 2 minutes down the road. And you're going to need about 10 to 12 of those, depending on how much you want to make. But hopefully all will become clear in a moment. So the sausage is going to take the longest to cook, so we'll get those under the grill and then we'll start on the other ingredients. So now's probably a good time to put the oven on to reheat. That just goes on at 180 degrees because, well, everything goes in the oven at 180 degrees, or so I'm told. And you're also going to want to find a suitably sized dish of about this kind of size, made of Pyrex or ceramic, and it just so happens that I have some in here. So that kind of thing, and we're going to have to start cracking lots of eggs into this. But more importantly, don't forget to keep turning the sausages. Like so. Top tip, use an eggshell to pick out all of the little broken bits of eggshell, or even better, don't get them in there in the first place. So you could probably overlap some of these steps, but I don't because I'm absolutely terrible at cooking and at multitasking in general. But it does prove that if I can do it, then you should be able to too. So the next thing you're going to need is a frying pan. Just stick that on the hob, put a little bit of oil in there, and then chop up your ingredients into roughly equally sized pieces and get them fried up. Now the one thing I'm not going to fry now are the tomatoes. I just like to chuck those in as is, as it's all going to get cooked anyway. So it's looking like the sausages are nicely browned now, so I'm going to turn those off and I'm going to chop them up and chuck them into the egg mixture along with the tomatoes. Just turn this down a bit. And it's looking like these other bits are done now, so let's get those in there as well. And that now goes into the oven for 20 to 30 minutes, or basically just keep an eye on it and take it out when it looks done. But it certainly smells about ready, so let's have a look and see what it looks like. So it's just risen a little bit, but that's perfectly normal. It will settle down a little bit as it cools down. So we'll just leave it to cool for a few minutes and then cut it into slices. And then when it's fully cooled, we can put it into containers and put them in the fridge. So now this has sufficiently cooled, it's just a case of cutting it into individual portions and putting those into containers. And then when they have fully cooled, you can put those into the fridge or even into the freezer. And basically, when you want one of these for breakfast, just pop it out of the fridge, pop it into the microwave for 2 minutes, and job done. You could also have them with baked beans. That's a personal recommendation of mine. Also, they freeze very well, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Not quite sure how long they last in the freezer, but just make sure they're thoroughly defrosted before you microwave them, or just give them a bit longer. But I've found it's generally never been a problem. So let's get this chopped up into portions and into those containers. So this has been Cooking with Rees. Thank you very much for watching this first ever episode. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions or suggestions about my wonderful Eggyweggs, let me know down in the comments section. Also, don't forget to check out my main channel, Control Alt Rees. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.